Lysitis, there's a high drive! Deep center! Go! 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 We're out of here! We're out of here! Say ya, playa!
Just like they drew it up in Hollywood. Caladros, the 3-2. Swing and a miss! And the Audubon Green Wave have upset the Kingsway Dragons! And this is it for good! The Audubon Green Wave are back in the Final Four! A dog pile on their side!
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to DW Broadcasting's coverage of men's varsity
From our entire crew, we'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one, folks.
Hold on. The sun is out, the grass is green, and the smiles are wide as we welcome you to Michigan International Speedway here in Brooklyn, Michigan. It is the late night edition of DWB After Dark. It is the Eastern Stock Car Championship Series as they open their third season of competition from the 2-mile super speedway. It is Michigan here on DWB. Of course, we are coming off of a big broadcast this past evening. Of course, it has turned into Saturday from the last time that we were on the air. However, with high school football out of the way until 12 noon tomorrow, we've got an exciting slate of NR After Dark here this evening, as it's going to be a fun one. We've got a lot of competition here this evening, especially considering that they are entering a new season. And one of the things that's important with Nico Servideo coming off of his Season 2 championship, we do have a previous champion of the ESSCS, which is a little bit of a mouthful to say, but we'll work through it as the season goes along. Dakota Vega is joining us in the booth tonight. Dakota, welcome. Your expectations for this race tonight?
Well, it's always hard to predict how the season opener goes, especially when the car count is as big as it is today. It looks like we've got over 20 cars here on this 2-mile track. Not that 20 cars don't fit on Michigan, but everybody wants to win the season opener, so they're all trying a little bit harder. So things could get a little bit out of hand at some points during this race.
And you know what? That always happens with these season openers, regardless of where it was. If you know
Absolutely.
anything about score, it happens every year. The people who say, yeah, well, I'll run the full season, and then they stop showing up after week 3. It's a very typical kind of situation down here in Michigan. But we have a wonderful, wonderful event planned. Big thanks to Connor Spradling and Kez Hiller for having us. And one of the people that we're going to be paying attention to throughout the night is Robbie Gilvin. You know, he's coming in as the undisputed wins leader here in Essex with 6 in his career. And in fact, there have been a handful of drivers who have won once. Gilvin has won 6 times. Christian Leonard is at 4, same with Victor Delgado. Keith Hughes has 3. Jort Veer has 2. Ash Hamilton has 1, and then Jerry Cook and everybody else down there has just 1. With that being said, let's take a look at the starting lineup for tonight, brought to you by Harper Driving School. We don't have all the cars filled in yet, which is a bit surprising. There we go. In the number 42, Christian Leonard, again, as we mentioned before, he takes over in the pole spot in the outside pole from Washington State, number 14, Tala Aziz. In row 2, Kez Hiller, the partial league owner, in the 3rd position, and then Cam Smith in position number 4 in row 2. Row 3 has Elaine Johnson on the outside, Colby Brown on the inside, and row 4 has Winty Wolf, and number 13, with the number font usually donned by Cameron Jamison, but tonight it's Sebastian Amaya. Row 5 is going to be Crystal Bennett on the outside, and Alex Mullen of Southern New Jersey on the inside of row 5. And then from Houma, Louisiana, it's Phil Parker on the inside of row 6, and Braden Korioth of Florida in row 7. Rounding out the rest of the starting lineup, Miles Fox and Connor Spradling, another league owner, Cameron McElraith and Zach Armstrong, Buddy Campos and Jarrett Ravoy, Colby Jackson and Carl Childress, Anthony Lopez and Jack Davis, and then the final few cars, Nick Gunther, Robbie Gilvin, the all-time wins leader here in Essex, Ash Richter, and also out in the back is number 45, Chase Sieverts. It is going to be a fun night here from Michigan. We've got 100 laps, 200 miles of heart racing, heart thumping, muscle churning fun. We are going to have a halfway caution at lap 50. as we prepare for the season opener, round one out of a possible 16 events for the 20-plus drivers in attendance tonight as they begin a quest for the Season 3 championship. We are about to get underway, and the green flag is flying in Wilkins, Michigan. Leading the way. Heading down into turn number one, Christian Leonard taking the early lead in that.
16's down in the apron. 16 is spinning. 16 spinning up the racetrack. We got big crash. We got a car upside down.
We have
96 is upside down in the back of the field.
There are about the entire field has spun out.
And they are going to crash.
Hey, Dan, we're having the forgiven restart.
Yeah, I was going to say, you better have a forgiven restart.
We are going to have a restart. That chaos is due to the restart. So that's for those who don't know the standard procedure with race starts in NR 2003, most races are given forgiven restarts, which means if there's a crash on the first lap, then the race will be restarted with no sort of implications. And it is tradition to when the race is called for a restart to have the most spectacular wreck possible.
That's always how it ends up being, right? I mean, it's
that's
not
the goal.
A shocker. And, you know, that's what we do over in our league and score, and it's basically standard practice at this point. I mean, you might as well, you know, instead of...
I mean, we only have the... Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, like, we have at least 10 or 11 rows of competition. It will be unfair to the drivers and competitors tonight to have half of them wiped out because of a lap one wreck and somebody's not looking where they're going, and somebody's still working out the kinks at a racetrack.
However, there is a limit, and I believe the limit in Essex is just one. So if there is another wreck on the first... Right. If there is another wreck on the first lap of the race, instead of there being a restart, they'll just throw a caution and the race will proceed as normal.
And that's probably what the standard procedure should be. But these guys
have been
given their lifeline. They've been given their lifeline, and now they must go to battle.
Launch in the back, but
I was going to say, they must now go to battle with no harness to keep them restrained. Christian Leonard, 4 career wins in the Essex Series, and Tala Aziz of Seattle, Washington on the outside.
I have the best idea.
In the 3rd position. Cam Smith in the 4th. We've got cars of all colors, of all makes, and of all backgrounds here in the 2-mile Super Center and Super Speedway of Michigan. We are back on the way in restart number 2. Leonard with the lead and the edge on the front stretch. And we'll enter turn 1 with a clear gap over a lagging Tala Aziz. He takes the edge off of turn 2. Aziz into the wall. Same with Bennett. We've got cars having issues on the backstretch.
Just about everybody's made it through.
Everybody's made it, and a couple peeled off.
Everybody's made it out of turn 2, but...
And the new leader coming off of turn 4 is the 81 Chevrolet in Dale Earnhardt font of Cam Smith. He leads lap 1 of the Essex Season 3 campaign. And Leonard dropping back to 2nd. I mean, these guys are wicked fast. They are holding 190 plus in the corners. Leonard dropping down to 184, but that first lap with a 40.572 for Christian Leonard.
Big run by the 71 here. He's going to push his teammate.
How about Cam Smith? 40.104 on that first lap. And
that is a very strong first lap.
Very strong indeed, as the 71.
He is out of here. 71's gone around the 42. No, I said he has gone around before. I didn't.
I'm sorry.
No, there was no car around. I said he got around. No. I said he's gone around the 42, but I didn't finish the sentence. 3 wide in the back in the middle of here.
As these cars have started to peel off into single file motions, Brown in 2nd, Wolf in 3rd, Leonard in 4th, Mullen of Pittsgrove, New Jersey in the top 5. He takes the middle lane, trying to get around Leonard on the outside. he will deal into that high groove. Leonard keeps low, although he does get back into the top side. It seems like these guys are all crunching up towards the top part of the front stretch before they get to the start-finish line, and then they start to break out again, going into the corners. You know, like we said, I mean, Alex Mullen, these guys not only were fast, we thought a 40.1 was fast. Well, Colby Brown just put up a 36.495, and I believe Mullen was somewhere around there as well, but Colby Brown.
Mullen ran a 36.65.
Yeah, 36.495 for Colby Brown. And we'll see what speed these guys.
He's closing the gap over here.
He is closing the gap. The top four, all Chevrolets.
Could touch 210. They are going to touch 210. Mullen is going to hit 212 almost into turn.
You know, the track version that we were selected with tonight was a 2012 version, so I don't think we should be shocked about that.
This is we got a that was really tight. 13's in the wall.
Yeah, we did have some folks getting into some trouble there. That's the 99 of Elaine Johnson, who started in the top 10. Now sliding up a little bit towards Sebastian Amaya. Let's go on board with the 13. He's in the 13th position. I'm sorry, in the 10th position. Hiller, you know, in a little meeting pre-race, was that these guys should only have to stop once under green if this race remains as clean as it is. They're going to have a competition caution at lap 50, which really should indicate that, you know, they're probably going to be wrecking at some point. I mean, these guys are hanging out as wide as they can. And it's nobody's prerogative to start a caution or start something serious this late. So I think what's going to happen is that, you know, we might not have to pit until that competition caution, and then maybe could set up a good fuel strategy at the tail end of the race in the second half.
Well, that's entirely possible. These guys have actually are driving a lot cleaner than I expected them to, and that's not that I am accusing them, the league, of having low standards, but. A lot of races at this capacity tend to have problems with cleanliness, and last season's opener at Michigan was no exception to that. But this season, much better driving in the early going from everybody in the field here.
And I think
we've got going battle for third here.
Contact between Wolf and Aziz, who tries to sneak that Snickers Chevrolet into the top four. Instead, he gets denied, and we've got Kez Hiller on his inside as they are 2 by 2 going down the start-finish line. Wolf takes the point, and now Colby Brown, who is a 1/10 of a second faster and also clutching in turn one as he enters there. He put up a 36.656. He's closing on Cam Smith, the leader.
However, I'm still not sure he's going 100%, especially if he's clutching into the corners. If he's clutching, he's saving fuel, which means he's not even going 100%. He's going to the inside here. He wants to take the lead.
He is going to the inside of Smith. He almost clips the wall. Now he has to regain control of that Chevrolet. And Colby Brown will be our first new leader of the day as he takes the reign from Cam Smith after 10 laps. He edges out Smith in the corner by a car length. And now that 71 Chevrolet has the point coming off of turn 2. We're still 2 by 2 in battle for 3rd through 6th. It's Wolf, Mullen, Aziz, and Hiller as they're going back and forth. Almost contact between Mullen and Wolf as they're trying to...
These two have been getting really close.
They're getting really
These two have been getting really close to each other up here. But they're fighting hard.
As that tire wear continues to degrade, the control of your car will be lessened. And as these guys continue to make more moves, as we've got 3 wide in the back.
3 wide.
With Jackson, Aziz, who is lagging a little bit. And
wow, I'm surprised they made that work.
Christian Leonard.
Oh.
That's going to be Colby Jackson driving up through the middle. He hits
into the wall.
That's Christian Leonard. And passing
Leonard
to the outside.
Gave him a lot of grace there. Hiller's around.
We've got a car up in the air. It's Winty Wolf. Waiting to hear about a caution.
They're going to come back
Wolf,
up into the field. Big contact.
Wolf did not stop the
Nick
car
Gunther.
in time. And a big hit with Nick Gunther will bring
Caution's
out our
out.
first
Caution is
yellow of
out.
the day. Nick Gunther was a sitting duck as Winty Wolf came up the racetrack in collision with Kez Hiller. I believe Zach Armstrong also got a piece of that. A handful of cars are slow coming to the line, and we will have our first caution of this. I don't even know if you call it evening if it's 12:30 in the morning, but we are under yellow for the first time tonight with Colby Brown as the leader. And boy, is he glad he took the lead when he did, because think about it this way. Where we are right now, Smith had led for the first 9 laps, and now that has been taken away from him, by Brown, who was giving himself a chance to lead in the early going and getting some late, or I should say early, caution laps. Now, we will make a note for the viewers at home. This league does not use a pace car for their caution proceedings. So the caution lights on the track will still register as green for the entirety of this race. This is so that they can do full field stoppages in the middle of a lap instead of race back to the line, which is why you saw cars that were slow coming to the start-finish line. With that being said, the caution lights will always register as green. I just took the flag graphic off of our live stream because I realized it would be kind of redundant to have a green flag from GNL TV and their services hanging up on the screen when these guys are clearly under yellow. But I digress. We'll get back into the fourth wall here as basically everybody and their mother is down on pit lane. Mullen, Smith, Brown, your top three. Parker. And the only car to stay out was the 19th place car of Buddy Campos. And the number 5, Folgers Dodge, has riskily taken the lead. And it looks like he may be the only car that dared to stay out. It's a free lap.
He was the only car that stayed out.
It's a free lap led. So I guess,
if I'm not mistaken, that's 2 points. But
right. So you can wear that as a badge of honor, but then you also have to bear that cross when you take the restart.
We've got strategy even on pit road. Mullen, I think, is only taking 2 tires here.
Yeah, I thought
Mullen's going to get out in front of everybody else. Smith, I think he's taken 2.
Miles Fox jumps up from the 12th position. Tala Aziz up there, Phil Parker, and Colby Jackson in that Joey Logano replica, and Braden Korioth of Florida, which he is obviously having to shake off that 6-3 Yankees loss in Game 1 of the World Series. He jumps up from the 11th spot. See, the fourth wall can be broken if we're talking about real-world events, but that's the
most
funny
certainly.
part. Colby Jackson just barreled through almost the entire field.
I was going to say, I wasn't sure if he was trying to get his lap back there or what, but he's not a lap down. He's just...
I was going to say, he was trying
he's doing
to
his
get
thing.
ahead of everybody. I don't know. Colby
he was
Jackson,
trying to make... I think he was just having some fun.
Well, what's that
But
for?
that will
There's
probably
no room
be...
for fun in NR. There's no crying in baseball,
you would
and there's
think.
no fun in NR.
We are probably not going green this time.
I would imagine so, and that's one of those things that we're going to have to pay attention for, is that as compared to other leagues that we run, there is no caution lights to determine whether or not
it's a little bit
green.
harder to tell. Hopefully any sort of...
passing around
we're not getting whispers though, are we?
Crawford, the 88.
Yeah, they will get a lap.
Hey, you guys, I know I'm not an admin here, but if we have a lapped car, it's probably best we give them a full lane to use, rather than force them to go onto the apron.
All right. What were we saying?
We were saying, as a quick announcement came in from the tower, yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on when these guys are going to go green, because we don't have any pace car to kind of moderate that for us. So I guess when they go, they go. Either way, though, Buddy Campos is in the lead.
Assume they're going to green this time by.
Yeah, maybe we can check the tower communications in that text box.
Yeah, I'll take care of it.
We'll see what the tower says about that. Alex Mullen is in second. He is the play-by-play announcer for Dan Wilkins Broadcasting in Score, And we will also be having some
Going
in-person
green this
broadcasts
time.
with Alan. And there you go, the communication from the
Green
tower
this
from
time.
Kez Hiller, who has to show some restraint after getting caught up in a wreck just a couple of laps ago. He now has to give the command to bring us back underway. So here's your top 10 as we speak. Campos in first, Mullen in second, Colby Brown, who led the first, or rather led the last 2 laps before we went to yellow. Cam Smith, who led the first 9 today, he's in fourth. Tala Aziz, the outside pole setter, in fifth. Phil Parker of Louisiana in sixth. Colby Jackson in seventh. Braden Korioth in ninth, and Christian Leonard, with 4 career Essex wins, is in the 10th position. Buddy Campos, coming off of turn 4, getting ready to go. You're from Michigan. Let's see what's in the tank here. Campos in the Dodge. Mullen in the Chevrolet. We're back under green from Michigan. Everybody's going high except for Buddy Campos. Now they're starting to drift back down with Mullen. Colby hugging the apron, blocking Cam Smith.
Oh, we got a
Smith
crash.
wiggles,
16.
wiggles in the wall. And we've got more trouble in the back, it looked like.
Caution's out. We got a crash
Caution
in
is
turn
back
1.
out.
Connor Spradling.
Yeah, Connor. So both co-owners of this Essex League have been caught up in early trouble. The 16 of Kona 2 Racing, Connor Spradling.
Big hit. Zach Armstrong was involved as well. The 3-spun.
We will have to take a look at that as we go to DWB Replay, presented by Garden State Pet Center. So entering turn 1 here, I think it's kind of simple what we saw in the back with Connor Spradling. You know, he's got a guy to his inside, he's got a guy to his outside, gets a little loose and gets into that 17 car and then collects the 15 of Armstrong as collateral. Armstrong nowhere to go. He gets double whammied with getting hit by Spradling to his outside, along with hitting the outside wall. And then along with that, Winty Wolf, who ends up just hitting an awful banking transition, he hits the apron and spins on his own, along with Nick Gunther, who picked up some trouble in his own right. So the main cars involved in there, Spradling, Armstrong, and by proxy, Winty Wolf, as the caution comes out for the second time today. Let's go on board with 16 of Connor Spradling as we rewind the tape and see where this went wrong as he takes the green flag.
And it's something that we've actually been dealing with as I was in the first 2 races here. It's something we did have to deal with in the first 2 races here at Michigan in seasons 1 and 2. We did have the issue of the cars being a little bit it's not something that everybody loves about the track, but it's something that that everybody you know is cognizant of while they're driving. So everybody is being extra careful in the first 2 turns, but even then it's very difficult to keep the car under control.
And that's what we say all the time. Cautions breed cautions. And, you know, that's the thing, is that these guys were already cooled off with the cold tires. Some of them have new tires because they just pitted. And that adds to the issue. When I think it also didn't help that a guy like Buddy Campos, he stayed out. Alex Mullen took 2 tires. It creates a little bit of a ripple effect in the back where Spradling, he was in the middle of a knuckle sandwich right there. He had a guy to his outside, he had a guy to his inside.
A little bit, yeah.
And on those cold tires, everybody's squirrely. And even at a track like Michigan, where you have a lot of space, it still can't save you sometimes. Off of pit road, a handful of cars came in, including Kez Hiller, Miles Fox in the odd number 53, with those I don't even remember. There's a car, I believe, in Arca West. Todd Souza, that's the name that runs
Oh
numbers
yeah,
like
Todd
that.
Souza. Not
That's a
anymore,
name.
unfortunately. But yeah, that was yeah.
But yeah, Kez Hiller followed behind him. Jarrett Gravoy with the rather obscure New York Racing #7 font that JJ Yaley used in 2018.
That's
See, this
interesting.
is why,
Actually, I didn't notice that.
yeah, this is why we
I
employ
didn't make that
nerds here at Dan
correlation.
Wilkins
Good one.
Broadcasting. Crystal Bennett also, and Nick Gunther in those contrasting STP cars out there. Winty Wolf, Anthony Lopez, Cam Smith also pitted along with Spradling and Armstrong, who were involved in the accident. You know who didn't pit? Buddy Campos. And
We
he
are
still
going
holds
green
the
this
lead.
time.
They are going green this time. Unfortunately, our drone couldn't
Quick
get
yellow
back
here.
to the start-finish line at time. They are going to be flying away here on lap 18 of 100. They are almost halfway to the competition caution, but they've still got a handful to go. Green flag.
Oh, stacked up a little bit. 17's
That's something
going
that
into the
we're gonna
grass.
see. Yeah, we got somebody in the grass down
Just
there
one,
in the
just the
back.
one though.
It's just
Just the
Jack
17.
Davis.
Doesn't even spin.
I think that was just a way for him to get out of the way. We've got Aziz in the wall.
Oh,
He spins down the
look out!
racetrack.
The 7 is spinning.
That's going to be a lot of trouble.
And he hits hard into the wall.
It's Lopez and
Oh,
there's more.
15's upside
It's Mads
down.
Crawford. We've got Armstrong, Gravoy, Bennett is spinning.
Caution's
Wolf
out
is
again.
spinning, and caution comes out for the third time in a row. We have not completed any green flag laps in between the first caution on lap 12 and the third on lap 18. And Mad coming out of New Zealand.
I
They have a crunched up rear end.
I apologize for praising how clean these guys were driving just before the first caution came out.
You know, look,
I now know what I've done.
In our high school football game tonight, the opposing team won 44-0, and we were making a comment. I made a comment about the kicker who was making PAT after a touchdown. I said, and this kicker Hudson has not missed a PAT tonight, and then the PAT gets blocked 5 seconds later. So look, I mean, it's a tough business, and unfortunately, speaking of tough business, Buddy Campos is out of the lead. He has not led a green flag lap today. He has led 6 laps, but all of them have been under the caution flag. Alex Mullen of South Jersey takes the lead in front of Colby Brown. And by the way,
Colby
should mention, we are at 18 concurrent viewers for this broadcast. This is the most concurrent viewers of any esports broadcast that we have covered. So we appreciate your patronage. We do have a Venmo at DW Broadcasting, no spaces, no hyphens. Of course, it is not required, but it is always appreciated, as I am up at 12:30 on a Saturday morning, I guess you could say. We've got more football this upcoming day, I should say. Later on today, we've got the Salem Rams and the Penns Grove Red Devils at 12 o'clock. It's a couple of fakes. Campos finally comes in. Mullen and Brown stay
bunch
out.
of fakes.
Yeah. They end up
This is getting really
in
interesting with the splits.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the commitment cone, they all seem to abide it.
Mullen, yeah. Nobody
they all seem
missed.
to do it fairly. It's
nobody,
just, there's some tracks you have more room to do those fakes than others, so it ends up making sense that way.
Well, Mullen is out here in the lead with 2 tires. Just about everybody else behind him is on 4 tires.
And at the same time, I think also what could be of concern is it's the same issue with Buddy Campos, where he doesn't get going and then nobody else gets going and then it stacks up. I mean, look, we've had 3 cautions, and the second and third have all been thanks to cold tires on a restart in the first turn. I mean, we haven't even completed a full green flag lap. And, that's where something like a caution cooldown ends up being effective to other leagues.
I was just told that we don't do them here.
I mean, really? Wow. I mean, I'm honestly
I was just told that we do not do them here anymore. if that's that's what we're doing, that's what we're doing.
There's reasons why some people detest them.
There's
and
reasons
I
why they
understand.
don't work, but
there's reasons why they work, and there's reasons why they don't work. There's two sides to every story, and I think it's everybody else's individual prerogative that could explain it. But I think in my opinion here, if they have another caution, it could definitely create some uncomfortable stories to be told where you kind of have to question if you're having three cautions in a row without completing a green flag lap, you're just wasting everybody's time, and that's the way I see it. But I don't speak on behalf um, of the crew here. Did we get word about going to green? Because I don't know if we have.
Does not.
Doesn't look
sure.
like it.
Doesn't. I don't think so.
We'll find out in about 5 seconds.
Green next time. Green next time.
Green next time is the word from Tower.
All right. Yeah, no, they were not ready in the back of the field. They're still not ready in the back of the field. But
quick. They had a quick caution the last time around, but now they've switched things up a little bit. This broadcast is brought to you by Harper Driving School. Over 90% of students who take their New Jersey State driving test with Harper pass on the first attempt. If you like those odds, you can book an appointment today at Suite E of the Total Turf Complex in Pittman. Also for the week ahead on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting, on Saturday, October 26th, which is later today, we have the Salem Rams and the Pennsgrove Red Devils. Could be major playoff implications for South Jersey Group 1 playoffs. Pennsgrove is the 16 seed, and most of this is, mostly playoff implications, but it's also the Battle of Exit 2 off of 295. Two Salem County opponents facing off with Kemp Carr and Mark Macarone, two first-year head coaches, and of course Salem. For our viewers at home that may not be aware, that is the high school that Jonathan Taylor of the Indianapolis Colts attended, class of 2017. They have only won a combined 7 games since Taylor left in 2017. Either way, back to the virtual world here in Michigan. It's Alex Mullen in the lead. We've got Colby Brown in second, Christian Leonard in third, Braden Koryoff in fourth, Cameron McElraith in fifth, Robbie Gilvin, the all-time wins leader in this competition, he is in sixth. Ash Richter is in seventh. Carl Childress, a name that we haven't heard too much of today, he's in eighth. Chase Severs of Wisconsin is in ninth, and Elaine Johnson in the 99 Ford Fusion takes over the 10 spot. I wonder if the consensus is going to be to keep a cooler head on this restart now that we know we've already seen a whole bunch of crazy stuff already. I wonder if these guys are going to try to lighten up a little bit and maybe keep it a little bit calmer here.
I think that's going to have to be the case in the consensus as we go green here.
It's just got to be what you got to do. Leonard to the outside of Mullen. I almost don't even feel safe using the drone shots until we get a complete green flag lap here. These guys are going side by side for second. Leonard and Brown, everybody's twitching all over the place. Trying to hang on to something. We have a car around in the back. It's Buddy Campos, and he is up against the inside
It's Buddy Campos.
wall.
How did he get up there?
He got
I've
two
never seen that before.
Oh,
we got a car down on the apron.
We've got a car on the apron. We've got cars everywhere.
Gilvin had a big moment. Gilvin had a huge moment.
You would certainly like a mulligan on that lap as he drops several positions. He's now in the 13th spot, getting passed by Winty Wolf.
Look at Richter around the outside. With a push from the 03.
Yeah, Cameron McElraith in that Ford, looking to find a way, holding the car on the high line and looking to beat out Leonard as he will. And these cars are slowing down because they've got a caution for Colby Jackson.
He's off turn 2.
What do we see here?
14, the 9.
Had a car in the grass as well, but was he in? So they made one lap. That's an accomplishment. That's an improvement.
Oh yeah.
Let's take a look at this Essex replay presented by Harper Driving School. So here from Michigan, just checking out this replay presented by Harper Driving School. Honestly, like I just think this is a classic case of people are getting a little too squirrely here. Obviously, I think my computer's having some kind of issue because the cars are very twitchy, so the replay looks a little odd. But you can see Aziz and Jackson getting the Parker there, sending him down the inside. Aziz catches some air and then drops back down on all fours. And it's just a three-car incident, it looks like. Parker trailing towards the inside, and then Colby Jackson coming back up to Zach Armstrong. Armstrong cuts to the left, and the Oklahoman is able to get around that without much issue. And certainly he could use that after already being involved in one of the earlier cautions. So the three-car incident with Parker, Jackson, and Tala Aziz. And Aziz even caught air, but ended up in front of all of them. So bit of an interesting conundrum there as we are under caution for the fourth time this evening.
Mullen led them down. The 71, Colby Brown stayed out, as did the 3 of Wolf, Smith, Davis, and a couple of others.
And Smith definitely
And
wants that
Childress.
position back. He's been all up and down the
Right.
field tonight, and it would help for him to get some positions back. He did lead the first 9 laps without starting on pole. Our pole sitter tonight has not led a single lap, Christian Leonard. And maybe he's looking for a little redemption because, you know, he was the pole sitter, and very rarely do we see a race, especially in the online world, where the pole sitter does not end up leading a single lap. Usually they lead a majority of them. So I'm excited to see how the rest of this race turns out, but I'm also a little, I'm a little cautiously optimistic, Dakota. I think that these guys really have potential to put on a great show, and we saw that for the first 12 laps. And now they just haven't been able to get that back to form. We saw a great show for the first 12 laps, and then everything after that has just been bad. Like I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It hasn't been good. There's been wrecks everywhere. We got one green flag lap since lap 12, and we're on lap 25 right now. I mean, these guys are basically just riding out the storm until the competition caution, and then even then, the longest, if we go to green on lap 27, the longest green flag run we can possibly have is 23 laps. We can't really set up a long green flag run because these guys aren't going to get the opportunity. They keep wrecking and wrecking and wrecking, and then we're going to have the competition caution. And what does that do? That resets the cycle. And now they're going to be back on the defense again, changing tires, new gas in the gas tank, and basically a whole new pep in their step.
And have that cold tire problem again.
And the cold tire problem has basically
that's
haunted
the
us
thing.
throughout this entire duration. So that's the thing that I'm a little cautiously optimistic about is, we're in a situation right now where these guys are at a crossroads. They want to race cleanly, but there's just so much in the way that's preventing them from racing cleanly, even on a track with this much room. If this was a short track and we were wrecking every lap, I would understand. But this is Michigan. You have room to run. You can scamper off to the high line. You can scamper off to the low line. The way I think about it is like a football field. In a football field, you can hug the sidelines or you can dart down the middle of the field. You can go towards the hashes. You have plenty of room. But if you're playing football on a shuffleboard, you don't have any room. When you're playing football on a football field, you have room. When you're racing at Bristol or Martinsville, you don't have room. And here, you have room. And we saw even guys like Leonard utilizing the inside apron on the front stretch to advance their position. So I think it's interesting, but these guys being overly kind of gutsy on these green flag routine moves can definitely hurt them in the future. Looks like, are we going green, Mr. Vega?
We are going green this time.
Let's run down the top 10. Colby Brown in the top spot. Winty Wolf in second. Cam Smith in third. Jack Davis in fourth. Mads Crawford, who was as low as 27th, has jumped up to the fifth spot. Tala Aziz, who just wrecked, is in sixth. Colby Jackson, seventh. Carl Childress, eighth. Alex Mullen, ninth. And Ack Richter in the top 10. From Michigan, we have 26 laps completed. We've got halfway to go. And already Tala Aziz hits the wall before we get to the start-finish line.
Spinners already.
Oh my gosh. Come on.
Are we going to...
I
Nope,
mean,
caution is already back out.
Oh my goodness. What are we
I don't
doing?
understand here. The 88 has failed to understand that we are under caution.
Crawford doesn't know that they're under caution. And now they finally
He's just...
realize.
There he goes.
He thought he could get away with it, you know?
Tater, I don't... I'm sure. I don't understand why we have a caution cooldown.
You guys, we're not gonna have a green run if you don't take starts carefully on cold tires. You have to be mindful of that, please.
We just heard from the tower there just a complaint about cold tires. I mean, that's the thing. These guys aren't even being given an opportunity to advance because the caution's being thrown every lap. And that was I personally, I think I disagree with that one. Those were 3 cars that were in the back. Yes, it was a 3-car accident. But now we have thrown 4 straight cautions. And in addition to that, that was the one that was the least risky.
We did not make the start finish line.
And by the time that they all got going, the caution was out. And they were already well on their way back to getting on. They would just be off the pace. They would be behind, but they wouldn't have been, by any means, like, what I'm trying to get at is that was a situation where, yes, there were multiple cars, but they were in the back of the field. They weren't hurting anybody.
It was out of the way.
They were already on their way to getting back onto the racetrack and back up to race speed. And then they throw the caution. Like, I just think that there needs to be a little bit more awareness of the fact that we've had 4 straight cautions. We haven't had anything longer than a 1-lap green flag run since lap 12. And that is something that, you know, you can't just say, be careful and be gone with it. Because people will treat that advice like a solar salesman at their front door.
It just doesn't work.
It doesn't. It's not effective. Pep talks do not work in the NR online community. And, you know, words of reinforcement, or I should say of reassurement, do not work either. You know, that's the way that I think this race is going to boil down to is who has the best strategy about pacing. Who pits at each caution break.
Yeah.
I mean, we're going to go to green probably lap 30. And now that
really
longest run they can have is 20 laps to the competition caution. And my fear is that cycle, even if we have a 10-15 lap run, that will be reset after the competition caution. Because we already know we've been under yellow 5 times.
Hey Dan and Dakota, I'm just reaching out to let y'all know we have a 3-lap cooldown going on.
Oh, see, they heard us. They heard the prayer. And we have a caution cooldown.
We are. Green.
And okay, we're green already. All right.
Wow, I was not ready for that, and I don't think many other people were too.
I don't think anybody was ready for that.
But they're off the line.
Brown out to the lead. We're green on lap 29.
They're wrecking already.
88,
55, 6. They're not going to throw the caution. 16's around, 84's around.
Really lagging. So these guys are just going to have to settle it out and figure it out. But this is the necessary
they're gonna have to deal with it.
Although Mads Crawford is still sitting at the top of 22. They got a flat tire. They're just burning around the racetrack, and now Colby Brown has just crossed the start-finish line. They've got to get going. Crawford is spinning on the apron. It's a shame we don't have side-by-side. They towed. Okay, they towed out of the way because they were about to just make a donut while these guys are...
That could have been scary. Oh, 14's in the wall.
Aziz
17's
is
around.
No, Jack Davis is around. But this is the necessary evil. The spins that we're going to see are preventing us from getting...
It's what we have to... It might just be what we have to have.
It is what has to be done. And I honestly think that was a play call on the fly. Because you said that earlier that we don't do caution cooldowns.
It was, absolutely.
So
they did not...
100% an audible.
Yeah.
Which is an audible that I highly applaud.
It's a very smart decision to go against their own rules here to make a actually really smart decision to get at least something going.
Sorry about that, folks. Our caution graphic was up for a few laps. I guess I could have held it there for a little more, but Colby Brown leads lap 31. He's got Cam Smith on his tail. Let's go on board with the 81.
Big pack here for 10th. Mullen, Sievers, Gilvin's in here.
The battle four-way over there with Mullen, Leonard, Sievers, and Gilvin. Some very experienced.
Oh, Gilvin's going to go around here.
Oh, Gilvin's around. He'll go into a spin cycle. Hits the brakes. Catches a flat. And he stays good.
Wasn't much he could do there.
Yeah, but again, the necessary
He's got
evil
caught
right now. He's just trying to hang on to it. Colby Brown leads. He hits 2:09.
Cooldown should be over.
Turn 1. Yeah, it should be over. As you said before, it's only
three laps.
3 laps. So should be done since we went through 29. So I guess they're not counting the single car spins.
There's probably a spin
Wolf
counter.
And Colby Jackson. This could be a netcode problem. Wolf is glitching.
Could get tight.
That it was tight already. And Richter's blinking in and out. I mean, half of these guys already have internet problems, and we're not even halfway through the race. If you thought that these guys without internet issues couldn't race each other, well, how about when they're glitching halfway up the racetrack and making everybody in a personal force field?
81's right on the bumper of Colby Brown here.
And Carl Childress is right on the bumper.
Down the back straightaway.
They are back-to-back in a battle for 6th. And here we go for the battle of the lead. Back to the front, it's Smith and Brown in their own zip code.
Brown's going to get the run.
Yeah, Brown got the run pretty easily there as they come up on lap traffic. That's the 84 of Bennett, who spun during the cooldown and now kind of has to face the music of their own making. Now that they seem to be only about a second off the pace, but that should be enough for Brown and Smith to get around here. We're on lap 35 of 100 here from Michigan. Brown up by about
a car
a second
around.
on
The 13 had an incident.
That is the 13 of Sebastian Amaya who went around.
Contact.
To the front here, Brown leading that lap by 0.6 of a second. Only one car is retired from this race, and that is Mads Crawford in the 88. Who was having those issues earlier while we were in the cooldown. And now ends up going to the garage for a 27th place finish. Bennett tucks high.
13 of Sebastian Amaya has retired.
Okay, so that makes it number 2 on the day. That brings us to 25 cars remaining. Bennett gets past the start-finish line. Brown with the edge in the turn 1.
4th place. Wolf and Jackson again still going at it here. And there's contact. Oh, what a save from the 06, but he's going to get into the wall.
Jackson hit the wall twice. Once
that was a very impressive save, but he hit the wall anyway. That was a very impressive save, but he still hit the wall.
He kind of hit the wall as like a barrier to just prevent him from coming back down to everybody else. Like he kind of took one for the team there. He overcorrected and hit the outside wall and avoid spinning down to the inside. So he's got a little damage on that right front fender. And I honestly thought after the first 10 laps, these guys were just going to drive in and drive out, but it ended up not being the case. These these guys are now hanging on to what has been their longest green flag run since the opening run that went 12 laps. We went green on lap 29, and the longest possible run that we can have before the competition caution is a grand total of 31 laps. I'm sorry, of 21 laps. So we'll see how these guys rock. But Cameron McElrath in 7th. We've got Childress in the Halloween car in 5th, celebrating the festive season. Wolf in 4th, Richter in an unlikely 3rd, and still in their own zip code by several seconds, Brown and Smith. Driving to the inside in a battle of the 0-3 and 0-8, Mullen and Aziz tucking to the inside. Aziz going up the racetrack, forces Koryoff to go high. And he'll lose a little bit of ground from that. That opens the door for Leonard on the inside. Just trying to find a way to keep this race clean. That's really what matters at the end of the day, is that these guys are trying to stay clean and not wreck each other.
Aziz had a huge slide off turn too.
I was about to say that as well. Ended up being a big piece for him in 8th as Elaine Johnson slides across the roads of the 69 a little too close for comfort.
That is a big move.
That was a big move, and it was one that stuck.
It worked.
And side by side at the line, Johnson beats out Koryoff for the 10th position. That knocks back Koryoff to 11th. Up at the front of this pack, you've got Childress in the 4th spot. McElrath on the high side. Mullen will edge out McElrath on the corner. And Aziz
Aziz has a problem. This is going to be a big crash. Big one.
He's
into the catch fence.
He's into the
Big
inside
crash.
wall. The back end hit the catch fence. And he's done. Immediately out. I guess these guys must run realistic
He was scored in 9th.
And now
that is
done
it.
In the blink of an eye. He didn't get hit by anybody, I don't think. He just was gone.
He got into the wall and just lost it. He just kept wiggling.
Let's take a look at that.
Nothing he could really do.
Taking a look at this replay presented by Harper Driving School, going into turn 2 and exiting turn 2. He's got Johnson to his inside, and there's nobody around him. I mean, he's got Johnson, but then he hits the wall, tries to save it. He cuts to the left, cuts to the right, and then just goes around. Man, that's a hard hit. We're back live.
3 wide for 5th. Wow, Leonard's going to send it in deep in a 3. He's not going to make that stick. Mullen's up in a 5th here. He's making up a lot of ground.
Microphone muted.
More lap
Microphone
traffic for leaders.
activated.
Brown and Smith in front. Brown leads here at lap 45. A couple of lap cars separating the 2nd and 3rd car. Or Ace Richter in the 3rd. And then battling for 4th, Mullen on the high side.
Going to get 4th.
Takes the point in 4th.
But he's going to have a really good run. Mullen backed up the corner.
I was going to say, yeah, Leonard's going to have
but not
the
well
advantage
enough.
there.
Childress has the run though.
Yeah, Childress is all over him in the back for 5th.
71's on pit road.
I was going to say, Colby Brown,
Leader is pitted.
the leader. And Colby Jackson, along with Jarrett Gravois, a couple of cars,
Came down a little early. I'm not sure what the strategy is, though. Particularly, 81
Honestly,
is
not sure what
coming
the
down.
fuel window is. That's the issue. I don't know what the fuel window
Maybe
is.
they may just be a little bit short of the halfway.
Could be
That could be
very
very
true.
interesting if they're short of the halfway. Remember,
Not
a lot
sure.
of these guys haven't are running on mostly the same fuel they started on.
So the leader on lap 47 is the same leader that kicked off these fireworks tonight. Although I can't find him anywhere on the track because he's on pit lane.
No, because it's from the
12th
leader
position.
at the moment. They say the leader at the moment is Richter.
It is Ace Richter who is in the lead in the number 2 Dodge.
3 cars coming down.
So Wolf is also on pit lane.
He isn't down yet, but he announced his
all right, so he's
he's
on his way.
He is on his way in now. He was the only one that pitted out of that group, though.
So Richter in the lead. You've got in the second place Leonard, Mullen in third, getting around Gunther, and then Johnson, the unlikely candidate, in the top 5 as Gravoy re-enters the racing surface here with just 2 laps to go at this start-finish line juncture before the competition caution is thrown.
99 is in.
Richter blinks across the start-finish line. It did count their lap, but we've seen some issues in that in the NR world before, where a leader is.
Oh, is that what happens then?
It happens sometimes. I'll give a personal example with Score. One time, a leader, Shane Sides, was not credited with the lap that would have won him the race because he blinked across the start-finish line. Now, this is a case-by-case basis, but it does look like Richter.
That's very interesting. I've never heard of that.
Counted. It has happened. It is specifically if you blink across the scoring point across the start-finish line. Richter completes lap 50.
It's risky, yeah.
I wonder if they're going to finish the lap.
We will await the caution.
Now. Yeah, everybody's
caution is out. Caution is
yellow is out for the competition caution. The 6th yellow at the halfway mark with Ace Richter, Christian Leonard. Oh, I hit the wrong button there. Christian Leonard in the 2nd spot. Alex Mullen in 3rd. Carl Childress in 4th. Braden Koryoth in 5th. Oh, almost contact there between Parker and Hiller under caution. Parker came in a little too hot. And rounding out the top 10, you've got McElrath in 8th, Fox in 9th, and back in 10th is Chase Severs of Wisconsin. We will take a quick break here on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting, as here in DWB After Dark, it's Richter up in front at lap 50. In life, the road ahead is full of possibilities, but to navigate it safely, you need the right skills. Harper Driving School is the premier driving school serving Gloucester, Salem, and Camden counties. With experienced instructors, many of whom are teachers in local schools, we are dedicated to your success and will help you master the road with confidence. With an over 95% success rate of students passing their road test on their first try, you know your student will be in good hands while embarking on a huge step of their young adult lives, all while avoiding the lines at the DMV and getting insurance discounts.
We chose Harper, and so should you.
Garden State Pet Center is an independently owned, full-service pet store. Our specialty is promoting companionship between people and animals by providing the healthiest product choices available, including all-natural foods, supplements that support and relieve health issues, and innovative products for pet parents. Our goal is to provide our customers with a relaxing environment, and while we're not striving to be the biggest store on the East Coast, we're striving to be the best. No other pet store will make you feel at home like we do. At Garden State Pet Center, we view pets as members of the family. We don't believe in fast, high-pressure sales, but instead matching up the right pet with the right owners, as you are making a lifelong commitment. Together with our team members, we would like your visit to our store to be both enjoyable and educational. Simply drop in and take a look around. View the birds, reptiles, small animals, toys, food, cages, and miscellaneous items. Learn of the services we have to offer and decide for yourself if this is the store you'd like to call your home away from home.
Victor Santucci, owner of Garden State Pet Center. Visit us today at 226 South Whitehorse Pike in Audubon, New Jersey. We're open 7 days a week for all of your pets' needs.
Doubleheader reached first on an error in the first at-bat of Game 2. This one's lined into center field. Slider going over. He dives. Did he make the catch? Yes, he did. Ryan Slider makes the catch. Not on a slide, but instead on a dive. 2 away. Two minutes remaining. Ryan Nutley, who has 3 RBIs so far, is up on deck as here's a fly ball at the center field, going back to the wall. It is gone! 3-run home run, Steve Schaefer. He rockets one out, and it's 9-2. First home run for Schaefer this year, the second hit at home by a Scarlet Raptor.
Back on the air here from Michigan International Speedway. We are under caution for the 6th time today as the competition caution flies. Here at Michigan, it is a beautiful Friday evening. I guess you could say with the skies being blue, then we would assume it's a day here at Michigan. Colby Brown is on pit lane, his number 71 Chevrolet receiving service. So let's see what we got up here. You know, Dakota, we're at the halfway mark, actually past the halfway mark now. This race was riddled by cautions, but was intermittently, or I should say indirectly, saved by an audible call by the officials to have a 3-lap caution cooldown. And then we went green all the way to the halfway point for a 21-lap green flag run. Your thoughts on the first half so far?
Well, I think it was a little bit of everything we expected from the race. There were wrecks, there were cautions, there were problems with low temperature conditions. It's a lot of the things that we saw coming when, long before the race, but also a lot of really good racing for the lead, for top 5, for top 10 positions, which is also something we expected. So a lot of things we've been expecting, but also still a really entertaining, when we're green, very entertaining so far.
Absolutely, and I think that's the thing that people are forgetting about this event is that there is so much potential for these guys to do well. However, they just weren't given the opportunity because, well, they were always under caution. So I like the fact that, I really applaud the fact that Kez Hiller and those guys did the audible call, called for a caution cool down, and made it happen. Because I don't think this race would be in the same position without it. We are back green.
You're back green.
Leonard
got a fantastic start.
Yeah, that's about as legal as you can get, but about as amazing you can
get. That is a great launch.
And that's what a seasoned veteran like Leonard does. as we are back underway here on lap 54 of
16
100.
is spinning again up into the field.
Oh,
we
we
got
got
a
a lot
one.
of
16
trouble.
is up and over.
We have everybody.
Gracious.
Colby Brown.
That was quite the
Lopez,
incident.
Bennett hits the inside wall.
16's upside down.
It's
16 is
Spradling who is on
very
his
likely
roof.
out of the race. The 71 is out.
And
71
that
is
was a guy
destroyed.
Who had led a handful of laps.
Brown
Guys,
led a lot
we're
of
in a
laps.
caution cooldown.
Caution cooldown is apparently called.
They call a caution cooldown.
I did not know that there was a cooldown.
Kez announces these before we take the start. I
was not aware of that.
Don't have
Very
to say
interesting.
this.
So that's interesting. A command from the tower there. Of course, we don't get any of those communications. There's Colby Brown kind of, I guess you could say, just hobbling that back to pit lane. Leonard in the lead. So a huge crash that we will look at later. Here comes Carl Childress on the inside. He did not take the lead at the start-finish line, but he does take the lead going into turn 1 over Leonard. With Korioth having to play devil's advocate down there in third, as now he gets trapped up on the outside. You've got Phil Parker on the inside looking to make a pass. Parker slides in front of Korioth, looking to get on the outside of Leonard. He gets blocked. Doesn't get anywhere on that one. Parker on the inside. Leonard still with the advantage, but Carl Childress
got his
is
nose
in the
up
lead
on the
lap
inside
57.
there.
Parker looking to take the advantage going into turn 1. He has it over Leonard. They're side by side, neck and neck in the two Chevrolets. Parker will clear Leonard by multiple car lengths off of turn 2. Still on the inside now. He ducks back high, but how about Phil Parker? He was a full 1/10 of a second faster than Carl Childress on that last lap. Now he's going to kind of dodge high and try to take the point from Childress, but he's
going to get the run.
He's setting up a crossover move here. Whoa, cutting down to the bottom and having to avoid almost
Wolf
certain
is off
disaster.
the pace. Something's wrong with the 3.
Wolf is coming to a full and complete
Got
stop.
a tire down.
He had a tire down, but he stopped
He has
in
a
the
tire
entrance
down,
of
it looks
turn
like.
3.
Not very safe.
That's not safe at all. I don't know what he's thinking. He is still stopped in turn 3. I don't know if he's trying to sell a caution.
He may have a screen freeze. That's entirely possible that he has a screen freeze.
Yeah, but he's got to pull off the racetrack there.
He doesn't. If his screen's frozen, he doesn't know where the hell he is.
Well, somebody's got to tell
Excuse
us.
me.
Parker's going to take the lead here. Childress goes high. I mean, that's just a safety hazard right there, especially if you're riddled by cautions.
He can't see anything.
We have the caution cooldown as a crutch to make sure that this race doesn't devolve into a chaos of alphabet soup. Carl Childress did retain
he's off the track.
But Phil Parker leads the lap. Wolf has been pulled off the track. Oh, no, never mind. He's still on the track.
Oh, he's still there. He's blinked off.
He
blinked off in his turn. He is there.
I mean,
very scary.
You kind of have a walking traffic cone right there.
But, he's gone. He's out. He's
right,
left.
He
disconnected from the server, so
right.
at least he's off the racetrack.
A little bit of a fourth wall break there, but that'll do as Childress retakes the lead and once again leads the lap. He had a better lap than Parker, but on this front stretch specifically. Here we go. He's on the outside. Cameron McElrath, who has been hanging around the top 10 all day. They slide into the 3 spot, and we got trouble in the back. It's
Big
Cam
move
Smith.
from Korioth. Oh.
Smith around. He's stopped in the exit of
do
turn
there?
2.
He's
going to spin.
going to turn broadside
Colby
across
Jackson
the racetrack.
Had to cut low to avoid Cam Smith.
That was lucky.
That was very lucky. And you know what? Colby Jackson's lucky. Not only did he didn't get in an accident, but he didn't lose that much time. He's still getting on the inside of Nick Gunther, as he only is going to lose one spot, the 13th position. And Cam Smith getting back rolling again, now getting passed by Gravois and Campos.
Parker's got to run for the lead here.
Let's see what he's got. He is all over the
Get a
back
push
bumper of Carl Childress. He's going to be looking to find a treat instead of a trick going into turn 3.
Going to go up top.
He will go up top. He's got
huge.
some room. They're side by side down the front straightaway. With Smith on pit road, Parker leads the line. Again, every led lap is another step closer to getting a win or even towards the most laps led bonus. You want to be the most dominant car out there. To do that, you got to lead laps. You got to lead laps in even times that you don't think are, important or significant. You just got to do it. And that's what these guys are right now fighting for, is just trying to find a way to get in front and stay in front, because these guys are having an
McElraith crossing over, 3 wide.
Here comes McElraith. In the Ford.
That was a massive move from
Parker,
McElraith.
Childress, and the 03.
Oh!
Almost contact. Parker got loose in the middle of the straightaway. And now it's back to Childress as he loses a little bit of momentum on the top side. And somehow Parker got escaped with all of that, even after the faux pas on the front stretch. He retakes the lead.
Korya's going to go for second.
Here comes Koryath. He is in the 3rd position. He was all the way outside of the top 5 just a few laps ago, but has wiggled his way up to position number 2 in front of Carl Childress, coming off of turn 2, off of turn 4. Childress in front over Koryath. And McElraith drops back, to the 4th, almost to the 5th position.
Big block by the 69 there.
Trying to defend over McElraith. This is that time of the race where you have to start thinking about, how you're going to defend your positions, because you want to be up at the front in this situation. This isn't like Talladega or Daytona where you don't want to be at the front, because I wouldn't call this by any means pack racing, because it's not. So these guys are going to try to, find their way, but they also have to collect enough of a draft so that they can get up front, because right now that's not a guarantee. Here comes Koryath.
Right.
He's got to run. Diving to the inside is Parker. You've got Childress. He's all over the back bumper. This opens the door for Koryath. Koryath slides and almost hits Childress. That now opens the door to split and fill the hole in the middle as McElraith.
McElraith is going to go up to the inside. He's going to go through the middle.
He will fill that hole, but instead it is Childress who takes the 2nd spot. McElraith in 4th. Koryath in 3rd. And now just trying to find a way to get past Phil
Good job.
Parker.
He got it. McElraith, big slide from the 8.
Inside. He got loose.
This is amazing.
This is a great lap and a great battle that, again, very rarely do I, put the praise all in the officials' laps. But this would not be possible if they didn't call an audible and put this thing in a caution cool down.
That's very true.
We would be sitting in single file lines like it's a McDonald's drive-thru all night, all day. I'd be here until 3. Childress with the edge off of 2. Car in the wall. It's Johnson. Phil Parker, the 4-time NR Online champion of Houma, Louisiana, with 127 career wins. He's entering his 3rd season as we've got Wolf around in the front, in front of the leaders.
Got a crash in the back, on the back straightaway here.
And there's more...
Caution's out.
Caution's out.
We got problems on the back. Robbie Gilvin.
We had problems
Colby Jackson
everywhere.
was involved as well.
Yeah, we had problems everywhere.
Colby Jackson's got a tire down.
Well, hold on. Wolf spun around on the front, and I guess something unrelated with Gilvin happened on the back. So Parker will lead our 7th caution tonight. And at the 69 lap.
Wow. Yeah. Looking at the replay, Gilvin got loose off turn 2 into the 06 and got up into the air.
Well,
Car
let's take a
came
look
back
at that
down,
DWB replay presented by Harper Driving School. So entering our 7th caution of the day, coming off of turn 2 on lap 67, Gilvin gets a slide a little bit from Jackson. Just looking at the helicopter cam coming off of 2. He gets loose, clips the outside wall, and then Jackson is just a sit and duck. Gilvin finds the air. 3 of 4 wheels come off the ground. He keeps it righted and keeps that Dodge Charger on all 4s. And Jackson got around. And then, kind of in an unrelated thing, Winty Wolf went around on the front as well in this same time span. They were in the 22nd position, battling with Gilvin before he crashed with Jackson. And Wolf coming off of turn 2 here in that number 3 pink Chevrolet. Coming down, maybe gets a little bit of dirty air from Sievers and spins down the front stretch. And not really a harm to anybody, just sliding across the victory lane there. What we were concerned about was that, well, for example, the leaders were coming around. So if the caution didn't come out there, that might have been more of a pertinent issue. But instead, it ends up being nothing more than a little bit of a whimper, as that is your Essex replay presented by Harper Driving School. So at the moment where we stand with these guys on lap 70, a caution comes out for 2 separate incidents with Wolf, and then Gilvin and Jackson get tangled up. And
caution would be if the caution was recorded, it would have been as due to the 43 and 06.
Well, there you go. So I mean, yeah, the 3 car wasn't really as much of a concern, except they might have jumped back
3
across
car
the racetrack.
wouldn't have been a problem. I was looking at I was watching Tala a little bit. Parker's pitting again.
Phil Parker, the leader
from the lead, gonna come back down pit road here. You know what I think that means? I think that means that these guys are very, very tight on fuel.
And they don't want to risk
Parker and Hiller have come in to get every last drop that they can out of this.
And I like this. I really think that there's no
That's
such
a
thing
very interesting
as,
move.
I don't think that there's any such thing as being too safe here, especially with 30 laps to go. We've seen, with just the track record that we've seen out of our green flag runs, because we've had some very short green flag runs and we've had some very long green flag runs. It's been very sporadic. But the thing to note is that when we've had green flag runs, there's been a lot of passing. Where did Braden Corey come from? He was
looped it under caution.
He was outside the top 12, and then he was in 4th. And like, these guys can create some massive runs and find their way into prevalence and prominence in the front pack. So I think that with Phil Parker pitting, these guys right now, there are 5 cars out of the race. The 81 and the 3 are several laps down. You've got 20 cars on the lead lap, and Parker is going to rejoin them like maybe in 16th or 17th. If he has new fuel, and maybe if he has new tires as well, that could open up the window for him to get a huge opportunity on the restart and jump through. Because we're going to go green inside.
Phil's going to the back here.
Yeah, Phil's going to the back.
Phil's going to the rear, so he's going to start back as far back as 20th.
Yeah, because there's 2 cars that are 2 laps down. The 81 and Wint Wolf is 4 laps down specifically. But
this time,
we're going green this time.
We are going green this time, and we do not have a cooldown.
All right, thank you for the communication, because
from race control, no cooldown.
I was gonna say I don't have any communications with the tower, but that doesn't matter. Maybe we've got to fix the radio jams. We're back green. 29 laps to go for Carl Childress and company. Leonard behind him going into turn 1. We've got trouble in
26 around, 96 around.
Himself, no
single car incidents. Those will not bring out a caution.
And with how
3 wide crash. Oh, Winty's going to go around. Parker nearly missed it.
He hangs
but
on
that
to it.
could only That could only end up being. That's not going to be a caution.
It's one
car.
It's
Only
the
one car went
three.
around.
It's Wolf. That was
Just
the
the
only
3
car
went around.
involved.
They're going to stay green.
That was amazing.
I wouldn't say it was the only car involved,
through.
but that was the only car that went around.
It's the only car that went around.
Parker did a great job missing that. However, Parker is way back here.
And if Parker needed a break inside 30 to go to get himself back in front with momentum, that was a momentum killer right there. He's in 16th right now, battling with Jarrett Gravois, trying to just get any break that he can. And right now he's not getting that. And right now the battle that we are paying attention to is Childress, Leonard, and Koryoff. And also McElrath. Don't count out Cameron McElrath. They haven't led a lap today, but maybe they are able to work some voodoo magic here with 27 to go. Childress.
Leonard's to the inside here.
Leonard's on the inside. Leonard takes the lead going into 3.
Slide job.
Over the middle. Leonard.
Childress is going to try and cross that.
A 3
wide again.
Duke at the line.
McElrath is waiting in the wings.
I was going to say, McElrath is playing wingman right here. If these guys...
He's just waiting.
He is waiting for them to screw up. By the way, Leonard
Corey,
is leader
like
at the
that.
line. There's your opportunity.
Wall.
It's Leonard in the wall.
Kept
Leonard
it straight, though. Will not have a caution.
He somehow kept it straight, and this brings the Floridian, Braden Correa, to the lead. Childress behind him in 7th, and then McElrath, who has been waiting for that opportunity, now gets one step closer with Leonard all but out of the picture. 25 to go.
Goes back to the outside here. Correa hit the apron.
Side.
This is McElrath's chance if he's got one.
This is his chance, although I'm
going to go to the outside.
25 to go. I think he's got more than one chance. However,
he's certainly got more than one chance, but if this is the one he wants to take, it's not a bad one.
It is not a bad
Johnson,
one.
though.
Is going to be taken away by Elaine Johnson. Cutting to the inside, hugging the apron, now sliding back up. McElrath goes low. Childress leads the lap. McElrath touches the wall. On the front stretch.
Caution.
And we have a caution.
Caution.
Or
Gravois, Parker.
It is
Parker spun.
And Gravois, which brings out our 8th caution of the day. I was wondering why they were slowing down, and then I very quickly realized that was why. The 7 and the 9 have tangled up, and Parker, who was on a mission, he pitted, and the strategy would have worked if there weren't external factors that got in his way for the number 9 Office Depot Chevrolet. We are under yellow, and here with 24 laps to go. Let's take a look at that SX replay presented by Harper Driving School. Back here from Michigan, you can see coming off of turn 4, Phil Parker dives low, lost control of his number 9 car, gets into the outside wall at the end of the safer barrier on the front stretch. He went low. Jarrett Gravois was trying to avoid Parker by going low, and then just ends up being collateral with him. Didn't actually make any contact with Parker, but it was just a matter of he dove low. Gravois thought that he could have dove low to avoid him, and then he ended up being kind of along for the ride in the grass, despite the fact that he didn't make contact with Phil Parker. That's your Essex replay presented by Harper Driving School. If you don't want to drive like that, you can book an appointment today at Suite E of the Total Turf Complex in Pittman, right off of Lambs Road, as we've got a pit road race.
That was clean. Childress took no tires.
Really? I did not see
Some of these
that.
guys took 2 tires. Childress took no tires.
And you know who didn't pit again?
But I believe
Mr.
everybody
Buddy
else
Campos.
took 4.
Campos
Campos
didn't pit.
is, yeah.
He's a bit of a madman tonight. That's not the first time that he's...
And Black Flag. Black Flag 8.
Childress.
Childress
4?
in trouble.
Do we know what the
Not
black
sure.
flag is
I
for?
did see it. I did see him run a little bit wide off of pit road. It may have caught him very tight for going over the line.
Yeah, it might have been a.
But I don't think it did that. It's very possible that was speeding.
It could have either been speeding or a merge line.
Could have been merged. Could have been speeding.
Could have been either or, but it still counts the same, and will hurt Carl Childress. So here's the thing about Buddy Campos. He has led over 10 green flag laps today. I'm sorry, has led 10 laps total today. None of them have been under the
None of them
flag.
were green.
He's like our honorary pace car. You know, he's in the lead when it doesn't matter that much, and then kind of gets out of the way when we're back green. So Buddy Campos out in front, as these guys will probably go green next time by. You've got Mullen in second, Korioth in third, Leonard in fourth, Gilvin, which is a lap down. You've got Bennett in the sixth position, then McElraith. Here's the thing about Buddy Campos. I mean, he's kind of on a different pit schedule than everybody else, if you think about it. I mean, he hasn't pitted when they normally do, and then he pits kind of on his own accord, but that's given him a decent chunk of laps led. So can you really blame him if that's,
No,
that's
not at all.
made him
I mean,
successful? He just has to find a way to stay in front
totally.
of leaders instead of ducking out of the way.
With where Campos is, with more or less with Campos as the driver he is, 10 laps led is a really impressive performance, even if most of them were under caution.
Well, all of them were under.
I think he's just happy to be out front. Exactly.
Yeah, kind of like one of those
Right, so we're going green again.
NASCAR. Let's go over the top 10. It's Campos, Mullen, Korioth in the top 3. 4 through 6 is Leonard, Bennett, and McElraith. And then 8 through 10, I'm sorry, 7 through 10, Johnson, Jackson, Richter, and Armstrong.
We will not be having a cool down here once again.
Makes sense. These guys have kind of policed themselves after
they've
the
kind of gotten
half.
it back together here. I mean,
But
hopefully now that I've said that won't.
Yeah, I think you just
go
put
haywire,
us under a spell for the remainder of the
Well,
race.
I did it. I've done it once. I'll do it again.
Kind of like a watch me situation.
Right.
Coming off of turn 4. It's Buddy Campos.
This is going to be
It's going to be interesting. It's going to be a mad dash for 21 laps and a season-opening win at Michigan. Robbie Gilvin is in 17th. Christian Leonard with 4 career wins. He is in striking distance, and we are green.
They're off the line.
Actually had a very good start going into turn 1. He might lead a green flag lap here. And Leonard passing Korioth right away under green. And I think, Mullen is about 5 miles an hour.
With that
faster.
damage, no, it's not even close.
Yeah, I don't think Campos is going to lead that lap.
Spinners.
We have spinners in the back. It's Smith
81
and
3.
Wolf. They're out of the way.
They are not going to throw the caution.
I like that.
84's up into the wall. And around.
And they're
going to keep straight enough.
It's good enough, right? I mean, it's...
Sure. If it works, Leonard's to the lead.
Christian Leonard is in front. They've got a scurry all behind them as Mullen looks to hang around.
Run for the 08.
So Mullen, Sport with a 3-car operation. Mullen, Crawford is out of the
Big
race.
run, here he goes.
And the 2 teammates for MSS, Mullen and Leonard in the 2 Chevrolets, are going to be battling it out for the lead here in the season opener. And Mullen, the team owner, regardless of who wins, should feel pretty good about himself. Leonard, 4-time winner in this series. Mullen with 1 win in his own right. And these two.
But remember, that win
veterans.
came here at Michigan. That win came here at Michigan last season.
So let's see what Mullen has.
And the guy that finished second, believe it or not, the guy that finished second, Christian Leonard.
There you go. And now that they are teammates working together, They're on lap 83 looking to duke this one out and hang on to what they have and fend off Robbie Gilvin, the all-time series leader, in third. He was a lap down.
Gilvin has been nowhere today.
He was as low as 17th, and the Dodge Charger
Gilvin was on his side like 20 laps ago. Not even.
Exactly. He was in the air. He had 3
and he's
wins
up in
the
third.
He is in third in front of Richter and Jackson and Koryoff, who has dropped down outside of the top 5. Let's go on board with Mullen. He is up to the back bumper of his teammate Christian Leonard. Even if this is a clean battle, you want to make sure you don't want to wreck up those race cars. You don't want to wreck your teammate, and you certainly don't want to wreck the teammate of the team that you own. Koryoff in the wall. 3 wide.
McElroy 3 wide.
Will pass. Richter will not, at least not at the moment.
It's going to be a big slide, though. I don't know if he's going to be able to make that stick. Very tight between McElroy and Koryoff, but he did make it stick, but he's not going to keep the position.
And
oh, and around goes the 2!
Richter's in the air.
Up and in the air!
Richter hangs onto it.
Saved it!
Richter's going to save it.
He's going to go around.
And will keep the car to the right
but
and in
that
the grass.
Is incredible.
And is there
that
a
was
caution?
Incredible. No. They're
we
still
are
going.
Still green. After
Gilvin's
all
here.
4
Jackson's here.
Left the ground, rather. Ace Richter.
Colby Jackson's looking for third.
Colby Jackson in the number 06. Having himself kind of a roller coaster day. He takes the point from Robbie Gilvin in 4th. Let's go on board with Gilvin. Laps to go here at Michigan.
He's going to
It
push.
is a top 4 line. Here comes Mullen with Jackson and Gilvin in tow. Koryoff on the high side for 5th, trying to hang on to the top 5 spot with McElroy and row 3. And Elena Jackson also in that spot.
So these guys don't need to make a pit stop anymore. So this is absolutely everything they've got.
This is all
they're at the point in the race now. They don't need to begin. They are 100% for the remainder of this race, no matter what happens. Unless we get another caution in which they will go 150%.
Exactly. Right now, like I said, this is a 20-lap mad dash. And we'll see if it stays that way. Leonard and Mullen both taking the high side. It's side by side for Jackson and Gilvin as they settle. It's mostly single file with the exception of a battle between Gravoy and Fox for the 12th position, which Gravoy takes. But everybody else is spaced out. We have 21 cars on the lead lap, with Richter being at the tail end. Wolf is the only car not on the lead lap, 3 laps down. Everybody else is out of the race. We've got our fair share of retirees, including Mads Crawford, the teammate of Leonard and Mullen, as this could be a bookends finish for this MSS team, finishing 1st, 2nd, and last. That would be interesting.
Yeah.
As
I do actually want to point out, though, that despite the fact that we have had multiple retirements, we are still 88 laps through a race here, 88 laps through, and we still have 22 cars on the track. That is a very impressive number.
Considering the fact we've had 8 cautions, 81.4% of the field is still on the run.
Jesus.
And is still to the point. It's Leonard. We have 11 laps to go this time. Leonard jumping out to a bit of a lead here. He takes the point. He's got a .214 second lead in front of Mullen. That lap time, he was a full, or I shouldn't say a full, but a tenth of a second faster, which doesn't sound like much to casuals, but to us, we know every millisecond
that makes a difference.
Makes a difference. And Leonard starting
a tenth
to pull away
absolutely makes a difference here. 06 and 43 pushing down the back straightaway to get up to the 08.
Leonard now, I mean, he's now going to be mirror driving as we are at 10 laps to go. The final 20 miles.
Mullen's
here in
coming.
round 1 from Michigan. Mullen is making a run. I think Mullen's trying to buy his time, though. He's trying to figure out when's the best move to make. But this isn't like a super speedway when you don't know when that move's going to be. Right now, it's the first one available is the one you want to take. Not a matter of if, but when. And Mullen is starting to close a little bit. He was 0.15 seconds faster that time as Smith pulls into the pit lane. Nine laps to go here at Michigan. Here in the Dan Wilkins Broadcasting Virtual Headquarters in New Jersey. Alex Mullen, another native of New Jersey, looking to win his second career Essex race. Leonard looking to win his fifth. As neither champion from the past two seasons, excuse me, Vega, you're in the booth with me tonight. Servideo is not here. So we'll see how this pans out from week 1 all the way to week 16. But for a non-winner in this series, you have to go all the way back to Colby Jackson in third. Because he's got Gilvin in fourth with 6 wins. Richter, who has won in... Actually, no, that's in 20th. I apologize. Coriaco has won
Richter's in 20th.
And then Gunther has won in 6th. So 5 of the top 6 at this time are current winners. And Jackson is looking to spoil the party. Here from Michigan International Speedway, Leonard with the lead. Mullen had a good lap just a few turns of the wheel ago. Now they are neck and neck. Just 0.01 separated
They're
Mullen
all
and Leonard that
second
time.
through fourth are pushing now. Gilvin's going to go around the top. Almost doesn't work.
The top 4 are in their own zip code. This is who we've got to worry about here. But Leonard is right now keeping a little bit of a force field between himself and Mullen. But that force field has collapsed between Jackson and Gilvin. And maybe that 3-car push will be the coalition we need to topple Leonard.
That's what all 3 of them are thinking. Hopefully this is the thing that we can do to get past the 42. Because Leonard is admittedly a very good driver. It's hard to get around him.
It's hard to get around him indeed.
Slow car up ahead. It's Winty Wolf.
4 wins to back it up. Wolf is up ahead. He's about 8 miles per hour off the pace and 2.5 seconds off the pace.
Expect him to get out of the way
He's
here.
He's got to dive somewhere.
He knows. Yeah, he knows. Yeah.
He knows the situation. He's got to go somewhere. Or maybe not.
We'll see. He's going to take the top.
5 to go. I saw some smoke.
Oh, he just cut a tire.
Wolf,
he just cut a tire.
Right front. So in the middle of getting out of the way for the cars that were passing him,
I believe we're going to be at a point of no return here, though.
It's a spinner in turn 2. Kez Hiller is around. He gets hit by Cam Smith on the back. We've got 2 cars
I believe
around.
we are at the point of no return.
Okay, so there is a point of no return. We weren't informed of that before the race.
I believe so, and I believe we're at it. Because they are still going. 4 laps to go.
They are 209 miles per hour with 4 laps to go into turn 1.
Microphone muted. Microphone activated.
I apologize. We are on the way of 3 laps to go.
Here goes Jackson.
Here he goes, looking to separate.
They are not going to sit.
tandem.
They are not going to sit behind the teammates anymore. Jackson wants to win this race.
He wants to win it. Teammates be darned. Robbie Gilvin joins him. They're 2 by 2.
He's going to slide up. He's going to make contact.
We almost got it. Jackson slides. He completes the point. He's in second. Now the teammate tandem has been separated. It's Leonard in front of Jackson, and his teammate Mullen has been isolated to third.
He's going to get back to the inside.
Mullen's going to get back to the inside. This might not last for long. Mullen has the advantage, and he has.
Gilvin's got to decide who to push.
4 miles remain at the Michigan International Speedway here in Brooklyn. Another slide.
06 is going to try it again.
Crossover. They are all
Too close. There they go.
Alex Mullen on the outside wall.
No,
And the teammate tandem has not only been separated, it has been destroyed. Alex Mullen
Shattered.
on the inside. He gets hit on
With
the
the
inside
gap.
and gets hit in the inside wall.
That's opened
Here
up
is
the
Christian
gap.
Leonard. Christian Leonard will take the white in his red and white Energizer and Target Chevrolet SS. Wolf with a right front flat, still running and still getting past. Jackson trails by a quarter of a second. It's a white flag here at Michigan. He's got the all-time wins leader behind him. He's got the second most wins in front of him. Colby Jackson is a winless rookie, and he's going to try to figure out a way to get around Christian Leonard. He's got a slow car in front of him, but it shouldn't matter. Christian Leonard, 4 career wins in score. His teammate and his team owner was abandoned behind him. However, Colby Jackson goes to the high side in a sign of desperation. Kez Hiller gets out of the way to accommodate the 5-time winner in the Eastern Stock Car Series. Christian Leonard wins at Michigan. Christian Leonard had to fight off the gladiators of Sparta for the past 20 laps.
Just about everybody.
And everybody was on his tail, including his own teammate. A dissenter took care of the deal and got Mullen out of it. So Mullen must be happy for his teammate, but not for himself, and not for the man who wrecked Alex Mullen to prevent him from getting his second career win. Here we go, Christian Leonard. Burn it down, 42. Got more in him, or I don't know. We're going to try to radio him up in a second. Yeah, I think Christian Leonard's just sitting there for now, so... now he's got the tires rolling again. Those general
He's blown
tires.
both.
Yeah,
He's blown both those rear
I think
generals.
he's done. But you know what? He's earned it. An hour and 35
They
minutes.
say.
Solicits Christian Leonard as the winner. We're going to try to radio him up here in the booth. Give us 1 second, and we will be on the air, but getting ready to get our winner in the booth. Where is he?
Channel switched.
Hey, where's Leonard?
Hello.
Hi, can we move you into the press box for a second?
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Perfect.
Channel switched.
All right, we have Leonard. We're just going to move him into the press box just a second.
User was moved to your channel.
Christian Leonard, got a copy?
I sure do.
Well, how about that? I mean, it was a 20-lap mad dash that got you the win, and there was a lot that could be said about that last run. Unfortunately, your teammate ended up being a kind of a sacrificial lamb helping you win if you're burning out with him right now. But you guys, if this was a win-win situation, it was either you won or Alex, the team owner, won. You guys are feeling pretty happy about that, right?
Oh, for sure. It's nice to go ahead and win the first race of the season. Gets us off, started right. I came up just short last season, got second to Alex, so I was kind of hoping we'd get a 1-2 again, but I guess the 06 had a different idea when he decided he didn't need to make the corner. I owe this win to... All right, good, you go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, I was going to say, sorry to cut you off, but you're one of the most experienced drivers in this league, with now this being your 5th career win. You're one away from tying Robbie Gilvin on the all-time list. And this was a statement win for you. As somebody who started on the pole, you didn't lead any of the first laps. Cam Smith led the first 9 laps, and then you retook the lead. And this was one of the races where we kind of have to remind people that you won from the pole because it's not that obvious. You weren't out front all day, but that last 20 laps of the race was really important. How would you describe that last 20 lap section there? Was there a lot of mirror driving involved?
Well, I'm. It's funny because most of the races that I win, I kind of people in the long run. So this was, I kind of expected the tires to fall off more than they did, but that was probably some of the hardest I've pushed. But yeah, you're right. I wasn't near the front most of the day because I kept trying to plan for how the pit stops would fall and see if I could save enough gas to cut a pit stop off or to be able to take 2 tires or something. But when we got that caution with about 25 to go, I kind of knew there was no more gas mileage involved in it. So Alex and I just kind of tried to draft away from the field, and I gotta give this win entirely to him. He played blocker for me, helped draft with me, and even was took the brunt for the 06 when the 06 decided he didn't need to make the corner, so it sucks that he didn't get his top 10 he rightfully deserved. But want to thank him for bringing me onto his team this season, and I'm glad that I could keep Mullen Simsport winning the season opener 2 seasons in a row.
You know what? You were the quarterback tonight. He was the offensive lineman, and that was something that we really noticed was that, even with your teammate, the 88, finishing in last today, you guys had a really good team performance. Like I said, it was either going to be he was going to win or you were going to win, and it was going to be happy days for somebody either way. But for you, this was a race that I should say in general, it was a little bit convoluted. We had a good 12-lap run to start, and then for the next 15 laps, we only had one green flag lap. So, the officials kind of called an audible there, pulling some caution cooldowns, even though it wasn't explicitly stated that we were going to have them. So, I think that they honestly, and you can disagree with me if you want, but they kind of saved this race a little bit. We would have been, in my opinion, we would have been stuck in a caution cycle almost all night if they didn't pull those caution cooldowns. And honestly, I think the leniency on some of those smaller wrecks that weren't called cautions, that not only allowed you to gain a bigger lead, but it also allowed everybody else to space out and for there to be less wrecks in general. Would you agree with that? All right, we'll see.
You got a copy, Christian?
Oh, sorry, I've completely forgot to press my push to talk button. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But caution cooldowns are an interesting topic. I was on the poor end of that last season where I got spun out on the final restart, and obviously there was no yellow for it because of caution cooldown. But this time, I guess I benefited from it because they got the lead, and then no more yellows came out. So it's an interesting topic. I personally would say I'm a little bit more for just making tighter setups that are maybe not as fun to drive, but a lot easier to hang on to. Just so that way, if we get a big wreck, then we don't have a bunch of wounded cars like way off the pace. But I guess I could say I'm glad they did it this race because, yeah, we went from having a bunch of yellows to just a few. But I'd say I'd much rather them just look into maybe dropping the track bar a little bit for next week.
Yeah, and I was going to say, look, we had 8 total cautions tonight, and 6 of them were in the first half before the competition caution. So there's a lot to be said about, about that. And in fact, they called the audible, and I'll agree with you there. Maybe the setup needs to be a little bit tighter, but also the cold tires. How did you work through that? Because you were one of the few cars that didn't really mess up on any of those cautions. You seem to have that composure well. The cold tires seem to be affecting everybody, and everybody was stacking up. Everybody's wrecking in the first corner. How did you overcome that adversity on the restart?
Well, the cold tires, if you know really like the limit that they can be pushed to, you can really get it on the edge, and that gave me a jump on quite a few people on the restart. But yeah, it can be pretty tough because the cold tires, it's a lot harder to tell when the car's about to go around on you, and a lot of the ways that you keep the car from spinning out is by using the gas. But when you're at such low speeds, it's kind of hard to modulate the throttle when you need to be building speed to the corner. But yeah, I'd say that probably in the future that dropping the track bar a good bit would probably help with the cold tire situation, just so we can get some more green flag laps in. But yeah, if the car was just a little bit tighter, I think that the cold tires wouldn't be so big of a problem for everybody else. But for me, that was just that was one of the few advantages I had on the restarts.
Well, that might need to be a conference email to Connor Spradling and Kez Hiller. We'll ask you one more question and we'll
Yeah.
let you go, and we'll let our entire crew go to bed because we've got football at 12 in the afternoon tomorrow. Christian, this is a big win for you, fifth win of your career, first of the season, and a big win for your team as well. What's your expectation going forward in weeks 2 and beyond?
Well, I mean, this is my fifth win, and I've only run one technically full-time season. I missed a few races last season for certain reasons, but I'm hoping to keep things a little bit cleaner this time around, be able to run for the championship, get a few wins here and there for Mullen Sim Sport. But I think this is some pretty good momentum. I looked at the schedule, and it's got a lot of tracks that I really like on it, so I think they did a great job with the schedule this season, and I'm looking forward to the next couple weeks, see if we can end up at victory lane again.
I'll have to agree with you, Christian. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. That will wrap up our broadcast. We'll let you go, Christian. Thank you very much for joining us.
All right, thanks, guys.
User was moved out of your channel.
I'm going to be honest, when I dropped Leonard back in the channel, I don't know if I dropped him off in the right place. I could have just parachuted him off, but that is all for us tonight.
Let's see. Yeah.
We'll worry about it later. That's all for us tonight here from Michigan as Christian Leonard takes his fifth career win. Our next broadcast will be later today in about 10 hours on Saturday at 12 o'clock between Salem and Pennsgrove. Our next esports broadcast will be Wednesday, October 30th, over in Score, as we have our exhibition race. Track is TBD, but that will be announced on our Score social media pages as we go along. From our entire crew, our social media coordinator, Brandon the Kegerland, our graphics crew, Gavin Van Rel, Caleb Lane, and Liam Nolan, my color commentator tonight, Dakota Vega, I'm Dan Wilkins. We will see you later today in the Battle of Exit 2 from, not Michigan, but from Pennsgrove, New Jersey. Have a good one, folks.